5 Twin City suburbs are hiding in plain sight, where the mid 300s gets you what 600,000 buys you everywhere else. We're talking about first ring locations, 460 acres of parks, 96 miles of connected trails, and river views most people don't know exist. The gap between what you pay and what you get won't last here. Today, I'm showing you exactly where the smart money is going before the spring inventory completely disappears. So let's dive in. So let's talk about West St. Paul. So a lot of buyers completely skip West St. Paul when they're hunting for a good city. And honestly, that's why West St. Paul stays so underrated. But here's what they're missing. Dodge Nature Center, if you've never been, you're missing out. It's over 460 acres, totally free, open sunrise to sunset with trails, wildlife, programs for kids, adults, and everyone else. It feels like something you would expect further out, not 5 minutes from the city. And that's in a first ring suburb sitting just south of St. Paul, where homes are still landing in the mid 300,000s. Sometimes creeping into the low 400,000s, depending on the house. For first ring suburbs this close to everything, that's a fantastic deal. West St. Paul is one of those places where everything just kind of works. You're close to the city, nothing feels rushed or overbuilt, and day-to-day life is just easy. You're minutes from downtown St. Paul, you've got easy access to job centers, and everything feels established. The streets are mature, the homes are solid, and the city isn't trying to reinvent itself every 5 minutes. It knows what it is, and that's kind of the appeal. When you stack up these prices against the suburbs, you're saving real money here. And parks are way better than people expect. You've got 16 city parks, an indoor ice arena, an athletic dome, and a community pool. So stuff doesn't just shut down in the winter. There's still a lot of availability to you. You've also got Thompson County Park nearby, over 600 businesses right in town, and South Robert Street, we're moving about 20,000 cars a day. So groceries, restaurants, errands, everything you need is right there. Convenient, but not chaotic. And that's the real point here. It's not about settling for less. It's about getting a first ring spot that makes daily life easier, shorter drives, parks that you will use, and a neighborhood that feels settled. And wait until I show you a place that's so central that errands, work, and travel barely feel like a commute. We'll get there in a minute. But first, listen up. If you're a first-time home buyer and you want this same feeling without paying first ring prices, this is one of the best entry points around. That's why families, young professionals, and even retirees keep landing here once they actually look at it. And speaking of places people overlook, the next one takes the outdoor side of living to a whole different level. Now, listen, if you're seriously looking at any of these Twin Cities suburbs, this is what we do every single day. We help families figure out which neighborhoods actually fit their life and what's really available right now. So if you want to reach out, all of our info is down in the description. All right. Let's keep going. So Savage, Minnesota. There is a Twin Cities suburb with almost 100 miles of trails and sidewalks all connected, and most people don't even realize it. It's not some fancy planned area either. It's Savage, and it gets overlooked way more than it should. Now here's where Savage really shines. This place has 23 parks, and I mean, that's a lot. And it's not just parks scattered around randomly. You've got 30 miles of paved trails and 60 miles of sidewalks that actually connect the city. So if you like biking, walking your dog, pushing a stroller, or just being outside, this place is built for it. Murphy-Hinterhand Park Reserve is right here too, and it's huge. It has hiking, biking, and nature everywhere. And here's the part most people miss. Those trails don't just stop at the city line. You can literally bike straight to the regional park system without dealing with any busy roads. And then inside the city, you've got parks for pretty much everything. Canterbury Park, the park in Savage, not the famous Shakopee racetrack, has baseball, hockey, soccer. Dakota Lane Park lets you boat, canoe, fish, and hike. You've also got spots like Glendale Park with sand volleyball and walking paths, and South Park Drive with soccer, lacrosse, ice rinks, and pickleball. It's not just one big park doing all the work. It's spread out evenly among neighborhoods and has something close by. That makes a huge difference day to day. Savage sits 15 to 20 miles southwest of downtown Minneapolis, right in Scott County. You're tucked between 169 and 35W, which honestly makes getting around way easier than people expect. Downtown Savage is another nice surprise. It's got that small local feel, but a food scene that's legit, a couple of places that have won awards for their food and service, and honestly, the restaurants are better than you'd expect in this size of a city. It kind of sneaks up on you, to be frank. And there's the Port of Savage right on the Minnesota River, which is kind of a wild for a suburb. You don't see that very often in a city like Savage. It brings in jobs, steady activity, and gives the city a solid, grounded feel. It's not flashy, but it really matters. I know this is pretty cool, but later I'll show you the only place in the Twin Cities where you can actually stand and watch two major rivers come together, so stick with me. Now, homes in Savage are landing into the low to mid 400,000s. So when you look at what you're getting, the parks, the trails, the events, the easy access around the metro, it makes sense why people stay once they move here. The market's been steady, which usually tells you that people aren't rushing to leave. Savage just makes it easy to actually live outside. You're not driving across town to find parks or a trail system. It's all kind of built into everyday life here, which is why a lot of families end up sticking around once they move in. But if you want a place that puts you right in the middle of everything, that's where Richfield starts getting really interesting. So, Richfield. Everyone says location is everything, and Richfield provides it. This place is completely surrounded by Minneapolis and Bloomington, so you're not just near everything, you're already right there. Richfield sits just south of Minneapolis, about 7 miles from downtown. It's fairly small, only about 7 square miles, which honestly is part of the charm that you have when you live in Richfield. You'll never feel far from anything. Groceries, parks, coffee, and freeways are all just a few minutes away. Even though you're boxed in by bigger cities, Richfield still feels like its own unique place. The streets are clean, the city is well run, and people actually care about their neighborhood. Day-to-day life just works here. You're about 5 minutes from the Mall of America, super close to the airport, and getting into downtown Minneapolis or St. Paul is really no big deal because they're both so close. If you travel for work or just don't want to waste your life sitting in traffic, this location is hard to beat. And it always surprises me how many buyers skip right past Richfield when they start looking for their first, second, or even third home. You've got a surprising amount of green space, roughly 450 acres across 23 parks, and you really feel it. But the real standout is Wood Lake Nature Center. It's about 150 acres of trails, boardwalks, water, and wildlife. You've got 3 miles of walking paths, ski trails in the winter, picnic areas, docks, and even an outdoor amphitheater. It honestly feels like you left the city even though you didn't at all. The main building at the Nature Center is being redone in late 2026, but the trails are still open, so people are out there all the time. And beyond that, there is just always something to do in Richfield. You have the ice arena, pool, mini golf, farmer's market, art program, and a skate park. No matter your age, there is always stuff going on. Stay with me because at the end, I'll show you a suburb where downtown is so close, It's faster to get there than your average grocery run. That changes how people use the city entirely. But first, let's talk about the housing here in Richfield. This is what really catches people off guard. Most homes are landing in the mid 300,000s, but that doesn't last forever. Prices are already up 3.6% over the past year, and that's usually what happens when people realize that they don't want to leave once they move in. Best Buy, their headquarters, is right here too, and that's one of the largest employers in the city. That alone keeps things steady around here. If you don't like sitting in traffic and want more of your day back, Richfield just makes sense. You're close to everything and the parks are solid. That's why a lot of buyers end up here once they stop and really look around. And speaking of places where location completely changes the experience, let me tell you and show you a suburb where geographically alone creates something you just don't see anywhere else. Let's talk about Mendota Heights. There's only one spot in the entire Twin Cities where you can actually stand and watch two major rivers come together. And yeah, people live right there. It's Mendota Heights. It's right between Minneapolis and St. Paul, located in Dakota County, and it looks straight out where the Mississippi and the Minnesota rivers come together. That alone changes the whole vibe. You've got big views, bluffs, water, and room to breathe, even though you're just minutes from both downtowns. And even though Mendota Heights didn't officially become a city till the 70s, this land's been important for an incredibly long time. Fort Snelling is right there, and people have been drawn to the area since the early 1800s. When you're here, you can feel it. It doesn't feel generic at all. So let's take a look at the parks now, because this is a big reason people fall in love with the area. You've got 16 parks here, but there's one that really sticks with you. I'm talking about Ohi-Yahi, also called Pilot Knob. This isn't just your typical neighborhood park. It's a sacred place with deep native history. It sits up on the bluff with views towards Fort Snelling and downtown Minneapolis. There's a trail up there and spots where you can just stop and look around. It just hits different when you're standing there. It's quiet, it's peaceful, and it has real meaning behind it, and anyone can go up and check it out. Then you've got everyday parks too, the ones you actually use. The parks have ball fields, basketball courts, hockey rinks, walking paths, and ponds. The kind of places you'd swing by after work or take the kids on the weekend. Nothing flashy, just solid green space, and that's really the thing here. Parks are actually part of that daily life in Mendota Heights. Mendota Heights also has a solid mix of local businesses, restaurants, and shops. It's not loud or flashy, but everything you need is really so close by. Most of the homes here are single family. There are also some condos and a few places that make sense if you don't want big houses anymore. So whether you're still in the busy years or you're starting to slow things down, this could be the perfect fit for you. Now, let's talk about homes. Prices here are higher than some of the other spots we've covered. You're usually looking in the high 500s up to the mid 600s, and there's homes that can go far above that. The views, the quiet, and the way the area looks draws a different type of buyer. It's not just trying to reinvent itself every few years, and honestly, once people land here, they really don't look for an exit. And before we finish up, there's one more suburb I want to show you because it catches a ton of buyers off guard when they finally see it in person. All right, to wrap it up, I'm talking about Golden Valley, and it might be the easiest place on this list to live day to day. Getting from your front door to downtown Minneapolis can take less time than your grocery run, and that really says it all. That 5 miles just isn't a number. It means you don't have to plan your whole day around getting downtown. You can head in for lunch, a quick meeting, or a game and be back home without feeling like it's a big deal. Parks are everywhere here. Playgrounds, picnic spots, and space to breathe. Brookview Park is the big one here. It's 33 acres with walking paths, courts, grills, and even volleyball courts. It's one of those places people actually use not just drive past. Shaper Park is another good example. Trails, softball fields, a play area that works for kids of all abilities, and even a fitness course. It feels thought out, not just thrown together. And then there's the big bonus most people forget. Golden Valley sits right next to Theodore Wirth Park. This place is ginormous. It's over 750 acres. You've got trails, woods, biking, and golf. And when the winter shows up, people are cross-country skiing there too. So even though you're in a suburb, you've basically got one of the best parks in the entire metro right next door. That's a big deal once you actually live here. There's also more than just outdoor parks. Brookview Park has an indoor play space, event rooms, and a golf course, lawn bowling, and a restaurant. The city runs programs for kids, adults, and seniors alike. There's always something going on if you want it, but it never feels busy or chaotic. You'll see a mix of houses, older ramblers, mid-century moderns, and some newer stuff mixed in. Nothing flashy, just homes in established neighborhoods. Prices right now are landing in the mid-400s for first-ring suburbs this close to downtown. That just makes a ton of sense. And prices have been moving up steady, about 3.6% over the past year, which tells you people aren't just looking here, they're staying here. The buyers getting ahead aren't chasing hype. They're paying attention to the suburbs most people frankly ignore. And once that changes, you're just gonna be too late. You've just seen where the window still is. If you wanna see homes in any of these areas before spring listings get picked over, reach out to me. You can email me at team@hhgus.com. I'm out in these neighborhoods with clients all the time. All my contact information is down in the description. And check out the Lakeville video linked here. It's the one a lot of people underestimate until they see it. It ties perfectly into what we've just talked about. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video, and I'll see you at the next house.